What's up, guys? Justin Morgan here, Carved Up Vegan Muscle, and I got a really good question in from a subscriber on my channel this just a couple days ago, and I've been looking for an opportunity where I could talk about what it was. I'll post the question up for you guys to see. It says, "Hey Justin, I want to get the most bang for my buck and create a strength being greater than mass program to build ant-like strength, thoughts, and ideas." And I actually did have a few thoughts I wanted to share with you guys. This will be a two-part video, I think I mentioned that, but we will talk about in this video what exactly goes into strength, and then we'll kind of go over the principles that play roles in that, and then we will go into the program and how it's designed in the next video. Now, for this particular video and what we're talking about, there are three primary factors that go into someone getting stronger. And those three factors, in what I think is order of importance or order of what will actually play a role in long-term progress, are muscle growth being the most significant, neurological adaptations, which arguably could play as much of a role, and then lastly, improvements in technique or the actual motor pattern that you use to do any given lift in. So the first, muscle mass, I think, is probably the most significant factor that plays a role in getting stronger over the course of a career. Usually people that gain weight, this is a large part of what steroids do for people, is that they increase muscle mass. And the larger the actual muscle gets, the more contractile force that it can produce, the more motor neurons that activate, then you're actually able to generate more force using that muscle. So that is that's kind of the role that plays in it. Now, when you get into neurological adaptations, then in that case, there's more total body fibers that are being recruited that are playing a role in generating strength. So you can see that there can kind of be some gray areas for some people where a neurological adaptation or recruiting a whole lot of different muscle fibers will actually play a really big role in being able to generate force. But there's kind of different ways to measure strength as well. So in this case, I'm going to assume that we're talking about 1 rep max strength, but a kind of contrary example would be like in strongman competition, which is one of the things that I compete in. A lot of times it's not a max event, so you'll like carry a yoke. You're carrying it over, maybe 50 feet or some, arbitrary distance that's set up. That's not a 1 rep max. That's, your ability to pick up something that's really heavy. So as a 231 pound, 105 kilo competitor, that's actually considered lightweight in strongman. I may have to do anywhere from 600 to 700 pounds. I've never really seen more than that for my weight class. That's kind of an example. Another one would be keg over bar is a popular one that comes up in strongman, or stones over bar, and you'll actually do a lot of reps. So your 5, 6, 7, 10 or more rep max is probably more significant to that than your ability to produce a 1 rep max. And neurological adaptations will play a factor in both of those, but there's just, when you start adding in some of those different ways to measure strength, there comes up a lot of different things. So it's kind of worth keeping in mind depending on what sport you compete in and what you do. And then the last principle that I'll talk about in this video is technique. A lot of people in powerlifting, when I look at things like the squat as an example, they will say that they only squat to parallel so that they don't waste all that energy at the bottom. Well, when you look at some of the best squatters in the world, and that may stir up different ideas for some of you. I look at some of the guys from like Westside or somebody, and I don't mean to come down on anybody specific. I've said positive things if that was the sport and that was like how all powerlifting was done, I would not be involved in this. I would not want to be associated with that. It looks stupid. It's just completely ridiculous. So, but if I were a multiply powerlifter, that's kind of what you have to do to be competitive in the sport. Now, in raw powerlifting, which is what I do, then you actually are usually stronger if you squat all the way down, hit rock bottom, and use the stretch reflex at the bottom of the lift to kind of bounce out or create more force. And Louis Simmons from Westside Barbell, I've actually heard him talk about this principle, but I'm not sure like how they would view that. He doesn't coach raw powerlifters that I'm aware of. I'm not aware of anyone from Westside Barbell that has ever come out and actually competed in raw powerlifting and competed at anywhere near the same level that they do with the multiply stuff that they do. So I'm not sure how much carryover or what factors that plays, but and then drugs are obviously another big factor that comes into not necessarily just Westside Barbell, but powerlifting in general. So when somebody starts using steroids, they increase their muscle mass. That's going to be a big factor. They also increase their neurological adaptations. I'm not sure how that works exactly or what goes on, but from what I've read and what I've heard from people is that there is a big factor that gets played into with neurology, your body's ability to produce multiple motor neurons and across the body to perform one movement. So if that's a squat, deadlift, bench press, push jerk, split jerk, whatever the case may be, then that's obviously going to play a big role. So I think I've probably belabored the whole thing. So the next video will kind of cover a program that will maximize some of that neurological adaptations, but it will kind of negate some of the other factors of muscle mass. So look forward to that, and I'll be posting that here in the next day or so.